Hello, this is a quick review. I'm going to keep it short. It's for the ClearHorizon Miniatures drop pod. It's a model that's been out for some time now, I think possibly even over a year. I painted mine, well I airbrushed mine and weathered them, which you can probably just see in the camera there. And what I'm going to do is take you in close up so you can see all the detail on there, and also match it up against some other 15mm scale sci-fi models so you can sort of see the comparison. Additionally, I've got a link I'll put in the description which will take you to an article I published which has the statistics and also a kind of a loose guide to how I painted it. So without further ado, I shall go down to the close-up camera. So here it is up close, the drop pod from ClearHorizon Miniatures. Get my finger in there so you can sort of see the scale and the size of this. It is a 15mm scale model, as I said earlier, and it's completely resin. I've put it on a metal base, which you can see here, which gives it a nice sturdy platform. It's a multi-part kit, so you get the main hull and a set of 3 doors with all of the struts that go inside here, and also these sort of landing feet that pop out on the side too. It's got some fantastic small detailing, as you can see here, these small sort of corrective jets on the top for when it's sort of coming through the atmosphere. And I just like the things like the detail on the doors there, the fact that these external doors that act as the ramp are neatly designed to look as if they fold back into the main hull. Now, I have 3 of these, so what I did, what you can see in the background here, so I'll bring it forward. I made one of them with the doors sealed up. So it plays the same purpose in a game, but I just like the idea of having it with the doors sealed. And you can see there's a sort of minor detail underneath in that there's a kind of small jet thruster, but I've put a magnet in there in case I wanted to pop this on a base or stick it down. So essentially all I've done here is I've sealed up those side struts and I've closed the doors. So a little bit more detail about it then, and some of the tricky patches. To start with, generally you're going to want to put this on a base, because these side flaps that come out and these struts, although they're pretty sturdy when you've got all 3 glued together, I wouldn't like to drop this and catch one of those on a table, because you'll just probably break that. The struts are resin struts and I had to sort of pop them in there. They would provide it some extra strength, so I'm sure it would bounce around a bit. And that's your first thing. Probably a good idea to put it on a base, metal one like this. And also, when you're doing the detailing and putting it together, it can be a bit tricky to get those struts here to fit up underneath. They kind of ping in. So just have a little drill, a hand hobby drill. I use one of these sort of hobby style pin vices to drill out with a small drill bit the holes in the top so they went in there easily. And the other tricky bit is you have another one of those sort of struts inside the side pieces that needs to be glued in there too, and that goes down into the base of that side strut. To be honest, once you've done it once, it's quite easy. In many ways, I think this is detailed enough to be classed almost as a model for a sort of hobby maker rather than just a wargamer, because it's so nicely made with all that extra detailing, and the fact that you can sort of have it with the doors closed or the doors open, the ramps open. My other one's not much different. I sculpted well, I didn't sculpt them, I put a couple of rocks on the base of that one, just to sort of add detail where they've come down. I used, and I've mentioned this before, live colour rust to do this sort of rusting and pitting, and I also used a heavy chipping agent with the paint scheme when I airbrushed it, and that allowed me to sort of rub off some of the paint, which makes it look chipped and weathered. My theory was that even though these are futuristic and they're unlikely to rust, they may have come down through various different atmospheres, and corrosive acidic rain or what have you has worked its way through. And also I like to think they get reused occasionally if they can be, with taken back off the by a dropship, picked up and taken away and then used for the next drop if it's been a successful battle. So now to give you an idea of scale, I have here, this is a Kravac skimmer model from Ground Zero Games, and you can see with the base size it's a nice sort of match. Figure wise, well, I have a larger model here from Critical Mass Games, one of their Proteline walkers. In fact, I've done the same sort of corrosion on there. I had a bit of a corrosion mad period. And this, I think this is called a Valkyrie from Art Crime Productions. And again, I've often used them for Valkyrie dropships, and I assume then that it can fit one of these in there and drop it down sort of deep over enemy lines. And another little tank from Ground Zero Games, which you can just sort of see scale wise there up against these, what it's doing. So nice size model. I will get some infantry now. I've left those in the cabinet. I shall be back. I have a ClearHorizon model here, and you can see him up against that ramp. Looks like an ideal size. And this is a GZG model, slightly different back. I know that when ClearHorizon Miniatures, Harold in fact, who runs the business, ships these out, he does send it with the statistics for the Grunts 15mm rules, which is rather handy. I shall pop up on the screen now a copy of those stats, just so you can have a quick butcher's hook look. Okay, and what else can I show you here? Well, I'll just show you against a couple of Xenos in terms of size-wise. You can see, again, a couple of different miniatures lined up against there, that it is a good size, and also great to have something that you could drop deep into enemy territory and just probably run as a scenario where you can do something a bit different, surprise the enemy rather than just a traditional face-off. You can see, just coming back to the painting again, that this light blue here, that's a life colour oil stain that I've got. I'm now just desperately looking for it, but I can't see the paint pot, but this is one that's similar to that, which is by Life Colour. It's in their Tenzochrome range, fuel. Basically they're washes that are meant to look like realistic effects on the model. I can see it, it's kerosene, here it is. There you go, just discovered, kerosene, that's the blue, and I've used it as a kind of hydraulic fluid that's stained across there. So there we go. Thanks for listening in. That was a very brief overview of the drop pods from ClearHorizon. Thanks to Harold for producing these fantastic models.